nothing goes together quite like black and gold. It's sleek, modern, classy, yet edgy all at the same time. So today we're creating a killer 3D black and gold text effect and logo mockup using nothing but layer styles. All resources featured here today can be found on Envato Elements, where you can find millions of creative digital assets, all with super simple commercial licensing. I'm Abby Esparza with Envato Tuts Plus. Let's jump right in. Starting first with setting up a smart object. Let's create a new layer and name that layer Hide Me. Now let's fill the layer with white. Grab the type tool and type out black gold in something large and bold. I'll be using the railway font in the font weight black and setting the font size to around 635 points. Now we're going to select both layers, the white layer and the text layer, and then right-click Convert to Smart Object. Double-click the black gold Smart Object layer to open the Smart Object. Go ahead and delete the Hide Me layer in the Layers panel. Now close the black gold document, hitting Yes to save changes. Finally, we're going to change the Smart Object's name to Just Gold. With the smart object done, we need to set up a quick action. Right-click the gold layer in the Layers panel and select Duplicate Layer. Change the new layer's name to Action. Open the Actions panel and hit the Create New Set, naming that set Shrinking Action. Select the action layer in the Layers panel and then hit the Create New Action button at the bottom of the Actions panel. Name the action Shrink and hit record. If you mess up, just delete the action, reset the layers, and start again. But don't worry, this is a really quick action to record. So let's begin by hitting Ctrl J to duplicate the action layer. Now go to Layer Arrange, Send Backward. Now let's transform the selected layer with Ctrl T and set the horizontal scale to 99.93%. and the vertical scale to 99.90%. Hit the Enter key twice to apply the transformation. Now we're going to go ahead and hit the Stop button at the bottom of the Actions panel. Now we can delete the action and action copy layers from the Layers panel, and the Shrink action is now ready to use. So next we'll be using this Shrink action to create the 3D portion of our text effect. Go ahead and select the gold layer in your Layers panel and then select the Shrink action in your Actions panel. We're going to create 105 layers for the 3D effect, but luckily our new action is going to do most of the heavy lifting. Hit the play button at the bottom of the Actions panel to play the action, and keep hitting the play button until it creates the gold copy 105 layer. Now let's select that layer, go to Layer, Duplicate Layer, and name it Shadow. Then we can move that new layer backwards by either going to Layer Arrange, Send Backwards, or just dragging it below the original 105 layer. So let's make some groups and clean up our layers at least a little bit. First, we are going to group the gold copy layer through to the gold copy 19 layer. This will be group 1 of a total of 8. So next, group layers 20 through 29. Then group layers 30 through 39. Group layers 40 through 59. Group layers 60 through 89. Group layers 90 through 94. Group layers 95 through 100. And finally, group layers 101 through 105. With our preparation finally done, we can move on to our layer styles. I've gone ahead and pre-applied all the layer styles to make things go a bit quicker. However, feel free to pause and get a good look at each of the layer styles. There are quite a few after all. However, I am still going to read through each and every one of them. So starting with the layer gold, let's double click the layer to apply the following layer styles. First, a bevel and emboss. Setting the style to inner bevel, the technique to smooth, setting the depth to 32%, setting the direction to down, the size to just 3 pixels. We're going to make sure the Use Global Light box is unchecked, setting the angle to -81 and the altitude to 26. Let's select the gloss contour, setting it to ring double. And then for the highlight, we'll set the mode to linear dodge add with a color of white and an opacity of 18%. And for shadow, we're setting the mode to linear burn with a color of 171718, something like you see here, with an opacity of 33%. Next, let's add a stroke. Setting the size to 3 pixels, the position to inside, the blend mode to normal, a fill type of gradient, setting the style to angle, setting that angle to 90 degrees, making sure the dither box is checked, and a scale of 150%. Now let's click on the gradient and set it to these colors shown on screen. You can also view the written version of this tutorial for easy copy and paste color codes. Now let's move on to a satin layer style. Setting the blend mode to linear burn with a color of AFA182 or something similar, an opacity of 4%, an angle of 0 with a distance of 22 pixels, a size of 1, and checking the invert box. Next up, we have a color overlay, setting the blend mode to linear burn, a color of straight black, with an opacity of just 7%. And finally, a gradient overlay, setting the blend mode to normal, checking the dither box if it is unchecked, setting the opacity to 100%, the style to linear, an angle of 67, a scale of 100%, and again I will put the exact gradient settings on the screen. Let's hit OK to apply all of the changes. Now let's open up the Effect 1 group, select the layer Gold Copy, and apply the following layer styles. First, add an inner glow, setting the blend mode to linear dodge add, with an opacity of 14%, and a color of straight white. The technique should be set to precise, with the source set to edge, a choke of 100%, and a size of 136 pixels. Next, add a color overlay, setting the blend mode to color, choosing the color FEE691 or something similar, and an opacity of 100%. And now let's add a gradient overlay, setting that blend mode to normal, checking the dither box, with an opacity of 100%, a style of reflected, an angle of 90. Now we have just one more gradient to create. This one is a long one, so feel free to check out the written version for all of the color codes and point locations. Now this same gradient will be used multiple times in the upcoming steps. We will be copy and pasting it, but just in case, so we don't have to recreate it, let's save it as a preset by pressing the New button. In fact, I recommend doing this for all of the other gradients as well, just as a safety precaution. Wouldn't want to have to redo them. So now we're going to right click on the gold copy layer and select copy layer style. Then let's hold shift and left click the layer gold copy 19. This will select all of the layers in between the two. And with all of the layers selected, right click and select paste layer style. This will apply the same layer style from the gold copy layer onto all of the selected layers, giving us a thin golden border around our text. So now let's collapse group 1 and open up group 2. Select the layer gold copy 20 and right-click paste layer style. So from here on out, we'll be using this layer style as a base or starting point. That's because this golden layer style will only need very small changes to the inner glow style, while the color overlay and the gradient overlay will remain mostly untouched. So with the layer style pasted, let's double click the gold copy 20 layer to adjust the layer style. For this one, we are only adjusting the inner glow, changing the opacity to 7%. Next, let's right-click on the gold copy 20 layer and select copy layer style, and then hold shift and click the gold copy 29 layer. And just as before, right-click paste layer style. Collapse group 2 and open group 3. Select the gold copy 30 layer and right-click paste layer style. Double-click and adjust the inner glow, changing the opacity to 3%. Now right-click on gold copy 20 and select copy layer style. Now shift-click the gold copy 29 layer and right-click paste layer style. Just a few more of these to go. Let's collapse group 3 and then open group 4. Select the gold copy 40 layer and right-click paste layer style. For this one, we're going to completely remove the inner glow by clicking the eye icon next to the layer effect name. And with that hidden, let's right-click on gold copy 40 and select copy layer style. Now shift-click the gold copy 59 layer and right-click paste layer style. Collapse group 4 and open group 5. Select the layer gold copy 60 and right-click paste layer style. Let's turn the inner glow effect back on and then double-click to adjust. Here we're going to change the blend mode to linear burn, the opacity to 3%, and the color to black. Now right-click on gold copy 60 and select copy layer style. Shift-click the gold copy 89 layer and right-click paste layer style. Collapse group 5 and open group 6. Select the layer gold copy 90 and right-click paste layer style. Double-click and adjust the inner glow, changing the opacity to 10%. Right-click gold copy 90 and select copy layer style. Now shift-click the gold copy 94 layer and again right-click paste layer style. Collapse group 6 and open group 7. Select the layer gold copy 95 and right-click paste layer style. Double-click the layer to adjust the inner glow, changing the opacity to 16%. Right-click on gold copy 95 and copy that layer style. Shift-click the gold copy 100 layer and right-click paste layer style. And one last time, collapse group 7 and open up group 8. Select the layer gold copy 101 and right-click paste your layer style. Double-click to adjust the inner glow, changing the opacity to 22%. Now let's right-click on gold copy 101 and select copy layer style. Shift-click the gold copy 105 layer, and one last time, right-click paste layer style. So the small changes in the inner glow's opacity and color should create a gradual shadow on the golden areas of the text. Now, if you're experiencing some lag due to all of these layer styles, there are over 100 of them after all, so it's very normal if there is some lag, then you can select all of your groups and right-click Convert to Smart Object, and this will lighten the load at least a little bit. Let's finish up by creating some quick shadows. First, select that shadow layer, remember that, and hit Ctrl T. We're going to add 20 pixels to the X horizontal position and 30 pixels to the Y vertical position. Now let's double click the shadow layer to apply the following layer styles. First changing the opacity to 35%. Next, add a color overlay, setting the blend mode to normal, choosing a color of 31200 or something similar, and keeping the opacity 100%. And lastly, add a drop shadow, setting the blend mode to multiply, choosing the color 010101 or something similar, an opacity of 75%. Make sure use global lightbox is unchecked, and then setting the angle to 120, setting the distance to 17, the spread to 0, and a size of 5. Next, we can add some blurs. First, go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, setting the radius to 4.3 pixels. And then hitting OK. And finally, let's go to Filter, Blur, Motion Blur, setting the angle to -60 and the distance to 97. You can always duplicate the layer to enhance the shadow effect. And that is how you create a 3D black and gold text effect using nothing but layer styles, a smart object or two, and a very quick and easy action. But if that wasn't enough and you're looking to learn even more, why not check out some of the other excellent videos that Envato Tuts Plus has to offer. If you liked this video and would like to see more, consider giving us a like and even subscribing if you haven't already. And don't forget to click the little bell icon to be notified of all new videos including tips, tricks, and tutorials. Happy designing, see you next time.